Welcome to Nasdaq TradeTalks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. We're coming to you live from Barcelona at SmartCon 2023 by Chainlink. Joining me for this segment, we have Getty Hill. He is the co-founder of Oku. We're going to discuss why decentralized trading is still significantly lower than what we see in the centralized trading counterpart. It is great to see you, Getty. Welcome back to TradeTalks.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me, Jill.
And that's a question I have for you. Why is decentralized trading still a significantly smaller market than more established centralized trading?
Yeah, it's a great question because at this point, we're kind of like 4 or 5 years into DEX trading being a core piece of what the industry is. But in the grand scheme of things, we look at all the on-chain trading that occurs, that happens compared to all the off-chain trading, that being Binance, Coinbase, et cetera. And it really only represents like 4%, 5% maybe of total spot trading. Derivatives is a bit bigger. They're trying to get some traction over there as well. When we think about the spot stuff, it really isn't quite caught on yet. And I think a lot of it's because it's just nascent. Like there is, it's much easier for market makers to plug into a traditional exchange. They're used to that. That's an environment they're familiar with, but it hasn't quite caught on yet necessarily to DeFi. We're certainly trying though.
So what's it going to take for DeFi-based trading platforms to compete with the industry giants that you had mentioned before, Binance and Coinbase? Is it just lack of public awareness?
I think it's a little bit of public awareness, a little bit of tooling. I think we've also had the underlying trading protocols that people have used over the last 5 years improve significantly. We're on finally like Uniswap v3, v4 is in the works. It's probably going to come in around the new year at this point. And these protocols have been able to eclipse significant amount of liquidity. You went from like V2, which had done a few $100 billion of volume, to V3, which now done over $1 trillion in volume. And so like we're legging up. Hopefully by the time V4 comes out and we get a few years in that, then we have done like 10 trillion in volume. And so with these new layers, I think we're getting a huge leg up. It just takes time.
So how do we as an industry bridge that gap from on-chain and off-chain trading? Is it integration? Is it one versus the other? Yeah,
so that's what we've really been working on with Oku, and that a lot of folks are happy with what Uniswap and the traditional interfaces that are available in DeFi offer, but the vast majority of the reason why we think folks haven't made that migration over is that the interface and the trading experience that they've become used to on Binance isn't really what's available in the mainstream right now. And so we worked on, thanks to a grant we received from the Uniswap Foundation a little bit about a year ago, with our team of like 18 people, is trying to build that interface that looks and feels like Binance, that has your traditional trading experience of your trading view charts and your order book, your order history, everything you've come accustomed to, and really bring it over onto the DeFi side. So that way folks don't have to use Binance and FTX and historically and such to do all their trading. They can have a trustless service on chain, and they don't need to feel like they need to compromise on that user experience for that liquidity.
So if we think a little bit more near term, let's call it the next 12 months, what do you expect to improve in DeFi trading?
So this is where I get really excited about like Uniswap v4, Uniswap X, and the work that we're doing. Like we're very much focused and have been on supporting new chains. Of course, there are so many new chains that are coming out right now. A lot of folks are really interested in trying to balance the trustlessness and decentralized aspects of new chains while also trying to manage that average cost per transaction. And this is what's particularly important with trading. Like traders don't want to pay $10 for every single trade, but maybe they're willing to pay like a penny or something per trade. Maybe they're willing to pay like a fraction of a penny per trade, and all of a sudden now the market making firms can feel like they can come on here and quote a little more frequently, provide more liquidity, and then all of a sudden like the market structure can change a lot. And I think we're going to see a ton of this happen over the next 12 months. And then on the side of Uniswap v4 and X, we haven't had a new Uniswap in it'll be like 2.5 years at that point. And so any new protocol upgrade is a pretty exciting thing. And so with v4 offering hooks, Uniswap X coming in and really offering new functionality for market makers to plug in, it's going to significantly improve the experience that swappers have right now. They're going to make it much closer to what Coinbase offers and many of the other exchanges.
You had mentioned that there's new chains coming on all the time.
Yep.
And this is actually a selfish question because I get the pitches on this all the time. How do you vet what could potentially be a longer term, successful, but real project?
Yeah, well, to your point, we've had a lot of folks call us up and be like, hey, we love your interface, we'd love to get on it. And we really try to balance about who we work with at this point, because there are just truly so many chains. I think thankfully at this point, one of the good parts about the bear market is there are only so many like legitimate folks, and you can kind of weed out a lot of those that would otherwise in a bull market wouldn't be great partners, and it's pretty clear. A lot of the time we lean on other folks in the industry, particularly those at like the Uniswap Foundation and others, to be like, hey, like which do you guys see are priorities? Which ones do you say like from the background have particularly like strong balance sheets or otherwise to support their ecosystem partners, are going to be good actors, et cetera?
All right, appreciate the insight as always, Getty. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks.
Thank you very much.
And thanks for joining me from Barcelona. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.